Hey, what's up? This is Cody the Coin Raptor. Welcome to my channel. So I want to do a video today about the dollar index. And before we take a look at the dollar index chart, I first want to explain the relationship between the Bitcoin and the dollar index and what the dollar index is. So the dollar index, or the DXY, is a measure of the dollar versus other currencies. It takes into account things like the euro, the yen, the British pound, other currencies like that, and it measures the strength of the dollar against those currencies. Now, what I have up here right now is a Bitcoin chart. This is a weekly Bitcoin chart, and in the orange, I have an overlay of the dollar index. And as we can see here, if I make things a little bit easier to see here, there is an inverse relationship between the dollar index and Bitcoin. So as the dollar index goes up, Bitcoin tends to go down. And when Bitcoin goes up, it's because the dollar index is going down. This is a very clear-cut relationship. We can see here that we have the top here of the 2018 bull market. That corresponded with a low in the dollar index's price. We take a look at what happened here in 2021. That corresponds with another low of the dollar index's price. And then we can see the dollar index coming up and going on this massive run from down here at about 90 all the way up to about 113 or so. And this corresponded with a dramatic drop in the Bitcoin price. You can see this shot up massively. Bitcoin tumbled very, very strongly. Bitcoin went all the way from 69,000 all the way down to where it is right now at about 16,000. So you can see the relationship between the two is pretty obvious. It is an inverse relationship. And the reason for that is because Bitcoin is a commodity, and commodities do not like a strong dollar. You tend to find that when the dollar goes up, when the strength of the dollar goes up, commodities tend to do very poorly. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you the dollar index chart. Let me go ahead and get rid of this. So the dollar index chart, I've covered this on the channel before, and before it was at a very steep uptrend, okay? And the reason why it was at such a steep uptrend is because of the fact that the Fed kept raising rates. So if I go over here, I try to compare it here to the Fed funds rate here, put in the Fed funds rate, and we can see, based off of that, a direct correlation between the Fed funds rate and the strength of the dollar. I mean, that's 1-to-1 right there. As soon as the Fed starts increasing the funds rate, the dollar responds by going up dramatically. All right, I'm going to get rid of this. So now what that tells me is that as long as the Fed keeps increasing interest rates, which they seem like they're going to do for at least the next month or two, the dollar index will continue to be strong, okay? Now, previously, I've said that it's going to come up here. It's going to touch this level at 120. That's still possible. It's still in play. However, it is broken down dramatically from this massive uptrend that we've seen here. And this is actually bullish news for Bitcoin, because as the dollar gets weaker, as it finally goes down, we'll probably see some relief on the selling pressure going on in Bitcoin. So the dollar index going down is bullish for Bitcoin long term. Now, we're probably not going to wind up seeing huge moves in the Bitcoin price until the dollar index comes down dramatically, but it's definitely a good step in the right direction. All right, so we have our Bitcoin chart up here right now, and Bitcoin has been narrowing. I have the daily up here, and one thing you can see here is that it has been narrowing in a range. It went up and then it went down, and now it's kind of narrowing. It's kind of like a sine wave where it goes down dramatically and then it pops up, and then eventually it will return to the equilibrium in the middle of the range here. So what this means for the Bitcoin price is it's most likely still going to keep heading down, because the trend is still negative right now. This trend is still incredibly bearish. If you took a trend line and you popped it down here, you can see that the trend is still very bearish. I'm going to go ahead and put this up here. So just a very, very short trend line, very negative at the moment. That being said, Bitcoin will eventually find a bottom. I don't know when yet, but I'm going to be prepared for eventual outcomes. I've said before, previously, that I think that the worst case scenario bear market bottom is 10,000. I don't think that's likely, but that's the worst case scenario. And I think that more likely, if Bitcoin keeps heading down, that we could see about a 14,000 or so Bitcoin. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum still right in the middle of the range. We've said before previously that Ethereum likes this middle of the range here at about 1237, and as you can see in the last couple of days, it's really just stuck in that range. It likes to stay in this range. It'll probably keep trading in this range for a little bit longer, but I do expect that Ethereum, just like Bitcoin, is going to head downwards from here, and it's probably going to pull back into this support zone here from 1242 to about 1,000, we'll call it 1,000 even, 1,013, somewhere in that range. And that's probably the most likely outcome for Ethereum. Because if we take a look at the RSI, the daily RSI for Ethereum, it's at 41 right now, or 42. That's not oversold. That's more in the middle of the range. And so it definitely has further to go to reach an oversold condition. Now we take a look at Binance Coin, and Binance Coin is looking a little bit worse than Ethereum is right now, and that's because it's not sticking to the middle of the range. Instead, it's kind of pulling to the bottom here. It looks like it wants to come down here and test support at 262. I think that's likely that it does test that support level, but there are many support levels below it. Again, I've said many support levels below this 243 or so, somewhere in that range. However, just note that Binance Coin has held up much better than Bitcoin and much better than Ethereum have this year. Now, one final thing I want to talk about when it comes to Bitcoin is the funding rate. So the funding rate is going to tell us, again, if we have a majority of shorts in control or we have the longs in control. And what we're seeing right now is a majority of shorts in control. These red lines here, these negative funding values mean that for Bitcoin, you're having shorts pay a premium to longs to maintain their short positions. All right. So it's still very negative right now. The shorts have control of Bitcoin currently, and the longs have been scared off by this kind of price action where it just plummeted. It really seems like nobody wants to get in it right now because everybody's expecting it's going to fall. And that is a possibility. That is entirely a possibility. If this changes, though, I'll be sure to let you guys know. And if you want the most up-to-date information, please follow me on Twitter. And also go ahead and leave a like if you like this video. And also a comment, sub, greatly would appreciate that. All right, so that's all I've got for you guys today. Have a great evening.